Edwards is a very tricky guy to fight. He's poses some interesting threats. He's very unorthodox at times, very fast, very athletic, good jiu-jitsu, really well-rounded fighter. I'm actually a big fan of Yves Edwards. I've been watching him for a long time, and but I think it's a very good fight for me. I think I'm going to be a lot bigger, stronger. I think my conditioning is better than his. I think it's going to be my fight.
He likes to strike. You like to strike. Could this be a pure stand-up fight?
It could be. You never know. We'll see. Anything can happen. I might take him down. He might take me down. We'll see. We'll see how things are progressing in the fight. It's one of those things you kind of got to play it by ear a little bit.
His fight with Cody McKenzie. What were your thoughts on that fight?
I'm trying to think. Cody McKenzie. That was his last fight.
Yeah, that was his last one.
Yeah, looked good. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't really remember too specifically.
Right.
But, he impresses me every time he comes out to fight. He never comes unprepared. He's a warrior.
Are you excited to be fighting in Vancouver?
Yeah, I've never fought in Vancouver before. I fought a Thai boxing fight in Vancouver actually,
right.
but, like early in my career. It's a great city. I love going out there. I was actually out there a couple weeks ago. Beautiful city, beautiful people.
Right.
And it's always nice to fight at home in Canada, right? So,
how come you weren't scheduled for the Toronto card?
I had an injury early, from my fight with Paul Taylor. And I didn't realize how bad it was until I went and got an MRI. I realized I had a torn tendon in my tricep, so I had to pull out of the Paul Kelly fight, and I wasn't able to tell the UFC whether or not I'd be ready in time to fight when they were making the card for Toronto. So I couldn't get on the card, but 100% now, ready to go. So Vancouver it is.
So Brock Lesnar against Junior Dos Santos, that's the main event at UFC 131. Who's going to win that fight?
I think, I think Brock's going to come back and win that one. You never know if Dos Santos, the blueprint's laid to beat Brock Lesnar, but I just think I think you have to be a better wrestler than Junior Dos Santos to beat him. Like, you have to be able to stop his takedowns until you can land that big punch that's going to, put him, have him turtling and have him running away. Dos Santos has the striking to do it, but I don't think he has the wrestling, so I think that's going to make the difference, or the size.
So, a GSP against Anderson Silva. A lot of people want to see that fight, but also a lot of people want to see Silva fight John Jones. What would you rather see?
I'd rather see GSP and Anderson. I think, the John Jones one, I think it's too early to start talking about that. The guy just won the title.
Right.
He's the youngest champion ever. He's still, John Jones is my favorite fighter to watch right now. I think he's, I'm a big fan of John Jones, but he's got to clean out the whole division before they start talking about having these super fight, title matches. So right now, I think if they're going to do a fight, between two different title holders in different weight classes, I think it makes sense to have the Anderson and GSP fight.
What are your thoughts on teammates fighting teammates? I guess it's a hot topic because Rashad's going to fight John Jones. What are your thoughts on teammates fighting each other?
I think there's times in the sport where there's no getting around it. And this is one of them. Rashad's the #1 contender, and if it's for a title, that's one thing. If you can, and it sucks that that's the way it has to be, but it's either that or you say, I'm not going to fight for the title, and nobody's really willing to say that. So, I've always said with my boys, we've always said, if it comes down to it, if we're ever going to fight each other, it's going to be for a UFC title. So that's the only time I kind of agree with it.
Yeah, have you ever fought anybody who you just didn't like?
The second time I fought Spencer Fisher, I didn't like him. The first time, I had met him, I had trained with him before the first time, and then the first time we fought, he was kind of a dick. I was he filled in last minute, and I was really happy that he did, because otherwise I wouldn't have had a fight, and it was for my UFC debut. So I went up to try and shake his hand and be like, hey, thanks for coming. He kind of snubbed me, and then at the weigh-ins he was kind of a prick, but after the second one, after the one that he won, he was pretty gracious. But it's easy to be gracious after you win. But I got nothing against Spencer now. Even after that, when he was. you know, I'm just not the type of guy to hold grudges. There's not
Right.
a lot of guys that I really dislike.
Cool. And finally, UFC 131, Yves Edwards. How's it gonna go down?
I'd like to win by knockout. You know, it's been too long since I got a knockout. It's starting to drive me crazy. So.
Right.